Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil. Does Biden know what Mexico is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at? I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem? Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Are we good? We're going?
I'm going to stare at the dartboard.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Veritas Road. Our top story tonight. College-aged men are reporting a massive decline in unwanted female attention after the call for the so-named sex strike on social media following the recent presidential election. T.V.R. reporters in Florida caught up with a few local fraternity brothers in Tallahassee who stated, "Yeah, we haven't had to throw any weird blue-haired trolls out for a minute now." I that up again. No, that's right. It's been nice, bro. I give up.
Well, I like the idea.
We can't do this a third time or a fourth time.
That was the third time.
Yeah.
You're a college age man.
No,
right?
I'm not.
Right?
I'm in college. I'm not college age.
And Tallahassee, that'd be Florida State. They suck balls. They're so terrible this year.
It's a big party school, though, right?
I don't know. I don't know what the point of your story was.
It's fine. I give up. We'll try it again some other time.
Whoopi Goldberg, didn't she get in on all that?
She did. Yeah, it's a whole big thing.
What is the deal with that? Because Trump said grab him by the what? Is that why they?
By the.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, it's been, how long has it been since he said that?
8 years, right?
A while. No, it was before the last election.
Oh yeah, it was with Billy Bush. Right, wasn't it? That's who it was with. Wasn't he a Bush cousin?
I don't know about that. I just know it was like at least 2 or 3 years before the last election, I think. And so, it's in the past.
Yeah. Well, then
we can move on.
They could come back and say, well, Hitler was in the past. So.
Right. Well, it's kind of, to me, it seems like kind of when everybody was mad at Paula Deen for saying the N-word in a publication like 50 years ago. Like, that was 50 years ago. Maybe she's, maybe we should not prosecute her for something that's 50 years old.
Is Paula Deen a real person?
She's got to be, dude. I love Paula Deen.
I thought Paula Deen was like Betty Crocker. It was like a brand.
No, she's a real person.
Didn't know that.
She had a show on Food Network and everything, dude.
I thought that was like the Oklahoma woman, the Pioneer woman was like her.
She also has a show on Food Network.
The Pioneer woman was like the real version of Paula Deen, and Paula Deen was like Paul Bunyan.
No.
It's like a legend.
The legend of Paula Deen.
I had no idea Paula Deen was a real human. I swear, dude.
I would love to.
I thought it was like a cookbook.
I mean, it is. She has cookbooks. She's made cookbooks.
Well, Paula, maybe you're pretty and I've been missing out.
She's not.
She's not? That's a shame.
It depends on what you're into, I guess, but I don't find her particularly attractive.
Well.
Her cooking's like she cooks, like Southern comfort food.
Yeah, like with lard and butter and stuff.
Yeah.
The good
So,
stuff.
I mean, that stuff looks good, but she does not.
You learn something new every day.
So, the legend of Paula. Maybe that's what we can title this one, The Legend of Paula Deen.
That has nothing to do with weather modification.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe it does. Maybe her farts are so loud that it like rips open the clouds. I don't know.
I'm giddy tonight.
I know you've been making me laugh.
All right. So let's move on.
It's gonna be like when Jimmy Fallon and Bradley Cooper just freaking laugh at their Guy Fieri hats. John, you just kicked the camera. You're kicking the camera like multiple
dude, we
times.
should
Someone
get
is kicking this camera.
It's not me.
Is it a ghost?
Oh, it's moving.
Yes,
John, you've got to be with it.
It's not me. We got a ghost in the studio.
We're not on that camera right now either.
Well, it's weird. Hey, are none of y'all moving that? All right, we've let it go too long. Our studio's haunted. All right, let's get to our
the shit on the news.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh. We should
you're gonna make it. Dude.
We should get some Guy Fieri hats.
We should, dude. Some Veritas Road spiked tip hats.
Yeah.
Donate and I'll buy those.
That's a great idea. Yeah, just go to this first one, John. Perfect. And do you see why I was talking about that? How ridiculous is this?
Yeah.
Liberal women going on sex strike over Trump win.
Who's
Like-
gonna have sex with liberal women other than other liberal women?
That's my thought. Although I mean, this girl who posted on TikTok is pretty hot. I'll give her credence for the hotness. But like, no one cares. No one cares, and I sincerely doubt anyone who like anyone. She's not gonna last 4 years for one. She's not. You know she's not. She's gonna last about 20 minutes while people are paying her attention for all the virtue signaling bull, right? And then it's gonna blow over. Nobody, this is retarded.
I can't. Like, I have a hard enough time following the Republicans and wanting to bomb everything, okay? But I can at least read about that. I can't even entertain what the liberals say.
Well, and what guy's opinion is that going to change? Because that's the only reason you would perform a sex strike.
No.
And the crazy thing is, right? These are all women who are like, we're going to reclaim our rights. We're feminists. Women are the only thing that all that nonsense, right? But who does going on a sex strike affect? Men. You're trying to get their attention. So what does that what does that really say?
Well, they're so
You're
deranged.
giving men the power.
They're so deranged.
Conceptually in that moment, right? I mean,
they have sex with each other, man. They're all lesbians.
Well,
they all paint themselves purple and green and
that
call
girl-
themselves like...
that girl was not a lesbian.
Maybe she's the girl lesbian.
And they're not going on sex strikes against it's just men. They're like, if you need some help, sister, go cuddle up with your sister. Like, it's just they're not having sex with men.
Is that not sexist?
Well, it is sexist, yeah.
So they're hypocrites.
But the point I'm trying to make is, like, for a feminist movement, the concept is pretty anti-feminist, right? We're going to do something to affect men because we attribute more power to men.
Well, that's because they're women and they think emotionally and not logically. You could see it coming from a mile away, dude. They always do that. Trump being around or not doesn't make a hill of beans difference. They're always going to do that. Right?
Given my dating experience, I can't. Moving on. So the next one, there should be one about monkeys, John. Why is this on the news? This is on Associated Press's website. Monkeys escaped from a research facility that breeds monkeys. Who cares?
Hey, there's an island, I think it's in South Carolina, where there's like hundreds and hundreds of monkeys that live. They're capuchin monkeys.
Capuchin?
They're capuchin. It's like a special type of monkey.
Capuchin?
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Yeah, capuchin.
Capuchin.
It's like those. And there's like there's an entire island in one of the Carolinas where they live.
Yeah.
So this is separate from that.
This is separate from that. This is somewhere in South Carolina, like inland. It's not on an island.
Like where the gullas are?
No. Probably near a city. It's a research facility where they keep them housed.
It's kind of creepy, isn't it? Also, what is Alpha Genesis? Is that the name of the company?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty interesting name.
Yeah. They use monkey kidney cells in a lot of research.
Oh, yeah, just research. Yeah, just let me get cells here and cells there for research. You know how vague that is? What are they researching?
A lot of so-called viral research they use monkey kidney cells for.
Oh,
a lot of bacterial research as well. Just a lot of biological research. They use monkey kidney cells as a medium through which to conduct.
That sounds to me like some compartmentalization.
So hold up here, John. Sorry, go ahead, Murph. I just want to... Oh, all right.
No, what happened?
We're not holding up. We're going back to the other screen. Hold up where you were. That's what I meant by hold up here.
Are you talking to me or John?
I'm talking to John.
Okay.
There's literally no need for you to say anything.
There should be one... Well, no, I don't want you to go to all these. There should be one on RFK. And I want to go to that one.
I think I know what this is. Oh, no, I don't.
What the hell? Doctors say RFK Jr.'s anti-Ozempic stance perpetuates stigma and misrepresents evidence. Now, I unlike you, I actually read some of these articles, okay? And what?
You know what? I read mine tonight.
You did?
I did.
I'm so excited.
But keep talking.
The one time you read it
keep
is
patronizing me.
when I throw shade. All right, so keep scrolling down, John. There's a particular portion of this article I want to read from verbatim because it's so ridiculous. Keep going. Keep going. Keep scroll down a good bit.
Look how cool that chair looks.
All right, stop. Okay.
You could have highlighted it.
I should have. Damn it. Keep scrolling down, John. It's somewhere.
That's
The ads, it was right below an ad, and I was like, oh, I'll be able to find that immediately. But the ads are different. So the gist of it...
What is the gist of it? I can find it.
The gist of it was the idea that, like, diet and lifestyle aren't enough for weight loss. They were talking about how, like, RFK's stance on Ozempic is not... is that...
Let's see if we can make it to 10 seconds of dead air while Carson reads this tiny TV.
Sorry. Well, one of the comments the doctor says, I don't think anyone who's in the healthcare business or area would ever argue against lifestyle modification. Diet and exercise and healthy foods is a cornerstone of improving people's health. He says, the challenge is, can we markedly improve people's health and get substantial weight loss with diet and exercise? This was the one. And the answer's been no. Are you kidding me?
I mean, dude, Ozempic probably sponsors CNN. They probably pay like $20.
Oh, these doctors are making...
every second.
Yeah, they're making massive amounts of money off of Ozempic. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And this is the most ridiculous... No drug is going to make you any healthier. It might make you thinner. It might make you thinner, but you're not going to get any help. Let's see if we can find the side effects of Ozempic. I guarantee you it's got some pretty sketchy ones.
It'll have at the beginning of the ad, 400-pound fat woman on a wheelchair.
And that's also just some total bull. The idea that diet, exercise, and lifestyle and healthy food aren't going to drastically change someone's health, that is some total nonsense.
Well, that's to keep people buying the drug. Can't you picture...
Official side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation, upset stomach, heartburn, and burping.
Yeah, probably death, stroke,
Let's look
heart attack, blood clots.
This might expand on that. Oh, it gets way more.
Yeah.
Bloating, burping, heartburn, loss of appetite, blurred vision, and injection site reactions.
Moving on to the serious side effects. So hypoglycemia, allergic reactions, tachycardia, pancreatitis, and kidney damage.
Yeah, also death. Those are in all of them, I'm sure.
I haven't seen death in this one. So, like, not great. Nephropathy is not great. Tachycardia is not great. Not as terrifying as nephropathy, which is kidney disease. But, like, those aren't side effects to laugh at.
No. I mean, the pills are all just screwed up, dude.
Well, Ozempic's an injection.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, all that crap is just...
But...
Like, you know what I don't read about in Genesis 1? On the seventh day, God made pills. No. Okay, these pills are from things that get effed up by...
Whoa, sorry, not the thyroid cancer.
Sounds like a party. You're going to need chemo for that. That's another $20 million down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Or you could just take care of yourself.
Yeah, well, that's hard to do, man.
It's very difficult, but as far as, like, prescribing a particular intervention, maybe start with diet, lifestyle, and exercise. Not, just take this shot that might give you thyroid cancer.
Yeah, but I don't know, you just hear what the doctor says because you're scared, and then you just do it.
Well, that's true of, like, like diabetes medication even, or like cancer. But this is just for, like, people are taking this because they're a little bit fat. I'm not even talking morbidly obese.
So
they're just taking this because they're a little bit fat.
So you're saying fat people don't get scared?
Scared of the kind of fear you're talking about is not the same as I look good in a swimsuit.
I'm just being a douchebag. Yeah, I get your point. It's ridiculous. It's just, nobody wants to work. And I'm being the world's worst hypocrite.
The way they brand this is just retarded too. Thyroid cancer is a side effect. It's not going to make you sick. It's just a side effect. Just cancer is a side effect.
That's a good point, Joe.
And it's just like that kind of marketing. Like, people just think it's like, oh, it's fine. It's not making me sick.
That implies that it could happen. It may not happen. And if you've got a bunch of, like, people running around in a field throwing up flowers while they're talking about death being a side effect, yeah,
that makes it okay.
Yeah, isn't RFK going to ban the ads like they're doing? Because they say this, but I don't know. I've been to Mexico once, and I've never watched TV in Mexico. But they say U.S. and New Zealand are the only ones that advertise
directly to consumers. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which is true. I honestly wonder how much of a difference how many people are going into like a doctor's office and requesting a drug because of the ad.
I think it's because of the pens. Remember how the pens were super popular when we were growing up?
Yeah, like they're either seeing it out in the wild, or people are telling that, like, that's the reason Ozempic is so popular. Is a few people got on it, and then it just spread like wildfire because it does seem to work fairly well as a weight loss drug.
I mean, I think it's more just like
and it spread through
subliminal,
Hollywood.
like putting it in your subconscious. Like when you see that ad on TV and then your doctor says, "Oh, you should take this drug; it'll make you feel better." Your subconscious is going to switch. It's like, "Oh, there were people frolicking through fields after taking this drug. It makes them feel so good. This is going to work for me."
Well, yeah, that's the purpose.
That's kind of what I think. I don't think people are requesting it because they see the ads. It's just like staying in their subconscious. So when it's prescribed to them, they'll be on board.
That's an interesting thought. I wonder if there's any truth to that. Honestly, I think the reason they're on board is just because of the whole, man in a white lab coat telling me what to do type thing. And it's way easier to surrender your self-agency than to take responsibility for your own health. It's a much easier thing to do.
Yep.
So there's that. That was dark. All
well,
right.
Hey, man, I could go darker. You extrapolate hell, you can just everything, your entire life.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. What do you have?
Oh, you're skipping your last two?
I'm skipping several, dude. I had like 5 or 6.
Mine is related to yours. We've got Elon, okay? And everybody knows about him.
I need to interrupt. I'm so proud of you for posting a hyperlink on this page. It brings me joy. So keep going.
It's great.
Oh, okay. I don't even know how I did it. I just put it in there. Elon, there's a group of Reddit people, and they're tracking Elon all the time.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I mean, what a bunch of losers. Could you imagine like these people in their mom's basement with like 25 monitors tracking Elon's jet. And that's it. Why is that on the news? Elon's gotten so popular. For what? What has he ever done? All he does is talk about...
He's done some cool
Has he?
Yeah.
What has he done?
You see, those Teslas that are all over?
Does Elon know how to operate a screwdriver? You think Elon made a Tesla? Now, he's the figurehead of Tesla. He acts like he runs Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company. He's Trump's right-hand man now. How in the world? I don't think he can build anything. I think this
some wild claims based on absolutely no evidence.
I think probably DARPA or the CIA or some kind of like the defense program made Tesla in 1981, and then they put Elon up as the front man to act like he invented it all. I'm gonna
go out on a limb and say you have absolutely no reason to believe that, other than just a general worldview.
Yeah, I don't think Elon can do anything. Why are we tracking him? I'm just sick of Elon being everywhere.
Now, that is the definition of an incel. Like somebody who's going to track Elon's every move. Like, go yourself. You need to do something else. Those guys need to go get laid. Like, they desperately need to go get laid. That, I can agree with you.
They're going to have a problem because everyone's on strike.
That's true. That's a good point. Good luck getting laid.
Right, yeah. And there's no conservative women anymore. The conservative women are married.
That's true. That is true. You and I both run into that problem.
Yeah, and you've got crazies out there now, and we're on the wrong side of 30 too, so we're just screwed, aren't we? I'm just sick of Elon, dude. I'm sick of Elon. I don't care where he's flying, right? I like it that Twitter's better.
Yeah.
But what does Elon? Did Elon do that?
Conceptually, yeah.
I mean, does Elon get in there and code stuff?
He supposedly changed the whole of Twitter after he took it over, so you can attribute the change to him. The people who get in there and code, generally speaking, have no bearing on the greater direction of the company. They're just in there following orders.
I'm just not convinced. Clearly, I'm not convinced
Obviously.
of Elon's sainthood.
There's no reason for you to not be convinced, though. That's the thing, is you have no hard evidence, pro or con.
He just seems dumb, dude. He just doesn't talk.
Doesn't seem dumb.
He seems pretty dumb to me.
Why?
He just does not seem like some kind of engineering mastermind. That doesn't mean
what is an engineering mastermind supposed to seem?
I don't know.
Like, that's a ridiculous statement.
Probably not talking a lot. They're probably quiet, and I don't know. I don't trust Elon. I think he's part of the whole show, dog and pony show.
If you say, sure, all right, you can think that.
What do you think about Elon? Do you trust him?
Do I trust him? That's a whole
Yeah.
different topic.
No, well, I mean, it goes into it. This 100% goes into it. If you don't trust him, then you don't trust that he's, his intelligence claims, his engineering claims, like.
The bottom line is I don't know. Like I'm not privy to any knowledge about his life. I don't know anybody who knows. Like I have no information. I've used Twitter. I've seen Teslas. I've seen video footage of SpaceX. I've heard about the Boring Company, but that tells me little to nothing about what kind of role he might have in running these companies. Tells me little to nothing about how intelligent he may or may not be. I'm skeptical enough to entertain the idea that maybe he's not doing all the stuff he claims to be doing for sure. But at the end of the day, I don't know one way or another.
How can you run 5 companies at once, dude? That alone right there seems like, because Tesla is a giant conglomeration that's going all the time. SpaceX is like taking over NASA, and when all of that's a freaking joke. But they're allegedly sending people up there to the ISS.
Supposedly.
Which they're not, because the ISS is fake.
Are there still people trapped up there?
I don't know. Who gives it? They're trapped in a pool in Houston. Okay. Golly, what a joke, dude. And freaking Elon Musk rockets, they blow up every 5 seconds. You seen the one of the Falcon 9 looking like it's in water?
No.
You seen that?
Oh,
dude?
yes, I have. Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It looks like a boat skimming the surface of water.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just sick of Elon. He's been all over the news.
All right. On the topic, actually, of Elon and Twitter, John, go back to the shit on the news, doc. I actually, one of the ones I skipped over was about him and about Twitter. Supposedly, there are a bunch of people. This one was specifically referencing like a bunch of Hollywood people and journalists. There's you're always joking about how if you don't like Facebook, go make another one. And nobody can really do that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Somebody made an alternative to Twitter called Blue Sky, and according to MSNBC, or as Trump likes to call them, MSDNC, which I thought was hilarious. There are tons of people flocking to Blue Sky from we can. All right, why are we not back at this story?
I was on the wrong story.
There are supposedly a bunch of people flocking to Blue Sky from Twitter. And at first, I read this article, and because it's on MSNBC, I immediately dismissed it because they're already complaining about far right hotheads and that nonsense, which is I'm not. I think that's crazy talk. But one of the reasons they cited, and perhaps this was just to give more credence to their article, but one of the reasons that they cited was that supposedly X has come out with new, what are those called? Terms of use that allow AI to analyze what you say and potentially replicate it. And that seems a little scary and fishy.
Yeah, it does seem scary and fishy. But you know what's going to happen on Blue Sky? That.
The exact same
thing. You don't
thing,
think AI is doing that to everything you ever put on a computer ever since 2001?
Right.
I mean, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
That's some interesting names. Blue Sky.
Yeah. And I think it's an homage to the blue bird from Twitter, Yeah. And I think Jack Dorsey is actually part of the creation of Blue Sky.
Oh, you know what? We can trust him. Jack Dorsey is just freaking, just some kind of saint. I couldn't think of a good. Who does everyone think is good? Gandhi? Oprah? He's like that.
Oprah. What about Dr. Phil? Everybody likes him, right?
Dr. Phil's pretty funny, actually.
He is pretty funny. Adam Ray's pretty funny, too.
Is that the guy that impersonated Dr. Phil?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I thought this was insane. And then there's actually another one about Twitter. I wasn't going to go into all these. There's another one about Twitter.
Might as well. Here we're just having a good time, man.
That this person just about pro-Nazi X accounts flourishing under Elon Musk. And it is honestly a bunch of nonsense. They don't call out any of these accounts specifically. They say they found 150 pro-Nazi accounts on Twitter. They don't call a single one out specifically. They call a couple out that they say quoted Hitler or quoted Stalin, but didn't say anything positive about them. They just happen to like quote them or put one of their speeches up.
I mean, who cares? Why don't you just block them? If you don't like hearing about Nazis, just freaking block them. Can't you block on Twitter?
Yeah.
What's the big deal, man? If somebody's like, there's a certain group that I don't like, and if they're spouting off a bunch of stuff, I just block them.
Right.
What's the big deal?
I don't know. I think the big deal is people, probably bored housewives for one, like bored middle-aged white women, because that seems to be perhaps the worst
Karen.
population.
You're talking about a Karen.
I'm talking about a real Karen. Yeah. Like who else is complaining about this? You're not going to see a working class coal miner, complaining about this. You're not going to see, Judy Bloomers, who works 12 hours every day at the local Waffle House, complaining about this. You're going to see some middle-aged woman with ugly jewelry, probably cutting off the circulation in her wrist because she spent 20 years eating and not having sex with her husband, right? Those are the only people that are going to complain about this nonsense.
How many jabs? How many boosters?
Oh, dude, they've been boosted 400 times.
Yeah,
Dude. They make sure to get boosted.
How many are we up to now?
I don't know. I don't keep track of that nonsense.
Yeah, you're right, dude. It's a joke. I love Twitter now, and obviously I don't think it has anything to do with Elon, but it's a lot better now than it was.
Yeah, it's great.
So
it's great. There's a ton of porn on Twitter.
Well, just block it.
Right. That is a solution.
Yeah, or go after the source.
You're just gonna leave it there?
Yeah. Who do you think the sources is? It rhymes with Mew, one of the Pokemon the special Pokemon from the 151st Pokemon. It rhymes with that. So.
Great. All right. Moving on. I don't even know how we got onto that. So you started talking about Elon Musk. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then we got back to your stories that you skipped, and
right.
We've had a whole Elon intro.
We have. There's something conceptually about him I kind of like. I know you don't like him, but I kind of like him.
Yeah, well, I don't trust him one bit. We need to do a whole episode on him. I can do some deep dive research and see
Let's just get him on. See if we can get him to come on.
Yeah. Well, hey, we can reach out to these Redditors.
Yeah.
Intercept one of his planes.
Right.
Go get in our jet and
meet him.
Do some Air Force One style.
Right.
stuff.
Hey, there's an airport 30 seconds from here.
There is.
Mount Pleasant Airport.
Yeah, you're freaking you're gonna dox me. Yeah, there is.
So we can take one of those crop dusters.
How long would we live? Right? Could we get a plane off the ground?
No, there's no chance.
I mean, I could probably figure out where like the gas is to make it go forward. I feel like I could figure that out.
The gas. There's probably not. It's probably not in
It's
there.
the throttle.
Do you not have a floor thing you press with a plane?
Are you talking
you
about, have pedals with a plane?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You do to control the rudder and to control the brakes.
Why do you
there
know
are
that,
pedals.
John?
I watch aviation videos.
We need to get you laid too, bud. Just gonna throw that out there. That's what your Saturday night looks like. We need to work on that. So to bring us back around to try to right this ship, planes are sometimes affected by weather.
Yeah. Well,
You have to know the weather.
They're really not. They could just fly above the weather, right?
That's true. They fly like at what, like 30,000 feet?
33,000, right?
It's typically somewhere around 30,000 feet, 30, 35, 28. Like it's in that general neighborhood. Yeah. So this has been like kind of a wild summer with all the hurricanes that just keep coming. We're a little past that now because we're recording this post-election.
Yeah,
so all that nonsense is kind of over.
The wild summer, as this is November 15th, but what I don't even know what today is.
It's the 17th.
Yeah, dude, the hurricanes, they always get drummed up, and this year seemed particularly crazy, especially with the one in the mountains. Which one was that? Helene, yeah. Yeah, that was
Helene.
absolutely insane.
That was wild. We haven't had one like that in a long time.
It just blew apart North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. A hurricane in the mountains on the same year that Vanderbilt beats Alabama. That's how we know that the world is ending. And then Milton, what was the deal with Milton?
I don't know. I stopped paying attention. I don't know what happened with Milton. Do we know what the path of Milton was like?
I mean, it just came through Florida, coming in through the Gulf of Mexico. It was particularly strong in the Gulf of Mexico and weakened as it came into Florida.
So that wasn't a big deal. But everybody was.
I mean, it was a
Did
bad
people die in
hurricane.
Milton?
Yeah, a lot of people. Like there was like a weird tornado outbreak as it came from the Gulf, like the outer bands of the storm generated a crap load of tornadoes that was probably as bad or maybe even worse as the hurricane itself.
Tornadoes are bad.
Yeah, there was like 130 something tornado warnings before the actual hurricane made it there. The day of.
I remember that happening like in 2005. We got out of school for Hurricane Katrina, and we're in Tennessee, obviously.
Right.
And there was a bunch of tornadoes, and that was like still crazy. The fact that it was so bad even by the time it got all the way up here that we got out of school and there was tornadoes and it just poured down rain. So
that was insane.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of crazy tornadoes here in Tennessee too. Like
we just had one.
Yeah, literally in June. Was that June? When was that?
It was right after I got out of the roofing industry. It was in June.
Yeah.
It was in early June.
Yeah, nicked the east northeast area of our lovely county.
Yeah, we had 3 deaths from that, I think.
I don't remember. Yeah, blew a bunch of stuff up off of Bear Creek.
Yeah.
The weather's just crazy, dude. Like, does anybody really understand the weather?
The people in Dubai do.
Okay.
They seed. They cloud seed over there to make it rain a few times a week.
Dude, they do that everywhere.
Well, okay. Well, they do it in Dubai.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
They openly admit that. Like, John, go to my PowerPoint here. Cloud seeding. Why are we okay with that? Let's just start there. How is
Why
that
are we
normal?
okay with that?
Like, how do we know at this point what is real rain and what comes from these government programs? Okay?
I don't know.
I'm serious.
I've never thought about that much.
John, go to the next slide, all right? So we've got, right, that top one, Project Sirius. Sirius, whatever. The Army and all kinds of, Air Force, all of them, they just admit that they're doing it. They admit that they're seeding clouds, that they're researching, and that they figured it out. The British people have done the same thing, and that they've, well, John's gone off there, but it was Project Cumulus for the British.
Okay.
And it, caused a huge flood. And this is back in the 60s, dude. They've been doing this for, 60 years now. And
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
What are they using to seed clouds?
I think silver. I think, did I write it on one of them, John? Go up to the second slide right there. What does it say on that? Silver iodide, among other things. Silver iodide, I think, was the main one that I've looked at.
That's less terrifying than I thought it would be. I don't know if silver iodine has any known health effects. We should look into that. Let's see.
Well, I mean, it's metal, right?
Yeah, but some metals aren't as like silver is pretty, can actually be used for better health. A lot of people for infections and things like that use colloidal silver and will
Alex Jones sells that.
Breathe it in or ingest it. Yeah, colloidal silver's great. It's a great antibiotic. I don't know about silver iodide. Don't know much about that, other than turning people blue.
Yeah, I don't know. No. First of all, who even knows about this? People just think it rains because it rains, right? And we never even think about why it rains or where does rain come from, where do clouds come from.
You learn about the water cycle in 3rd grade, dude.
Yeah, but it's in everything else scientific. Well, that one at least makes a little more sense than some of this other stuff. But has anybody ever done that in a lab?
How are you going to do that in a lab?
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the scientific method.
People do kind of do that in stills.
Is to replicate. Can somebody replicate the water cycle on a small scale?
Kind of.
Is kind of good enough?
I don't know. Depends on what your qualifications are. I mean, there's the fact that I can with a still or with a desalinization plant, I can basically make rain of a sort.
Yeah, but does it rain or do you make dew?
I mean, that's essentially what a terrarium is, kind of, isn't it? From what I'm looking up here.
That's a good point,
replication
John.
of the water cycle in a small.
They supposedly are. Yeah, terrariums supposedly are.
But
that's a good point. I've never seen it rain inside.
And that's my point. It like dews. The condensate happens, right? It gets all sticky, and there's like water on sheets and stuff. And but can people make it rain? I don't think I've ever seen that.
On a small scale, I
Right.
don't know that that's ever been done. There are some things that cannot be done on a small scale.
Then how would you ever verify what the cause is if you can't isolate the variables?
You can't. You have to do the best you can.
So we don't really know why it rains then.
I mean, I'm not a meteorologist. I have assumed all my life that what people have told me is correct. That
Well, how many times has that bit us in the behind, dude?
that a hot portion of air meets a cold portion of air, and it causes condensation, which leads to precipitation. That is what I've always believed.
Well, you know what I believe now is that planes drop some silver and it rains because they've literally been doing that since the 60s.
I mean, we know they do that from time to time. I still would not attribute all rain to that. That seems a little insane.
I don't know. I mean, their budgets are massive. I literally don't know anything anymore.
Yeah, but who the hell has the time? Like, that's outrageous, and there's no reason to do that.
Well, I mean, think about it. Think about all these commercial airlines that fly over America every day. I mean, how hard would it be to just like have a little like node somewhere on a plane and then just like release that from a computer and then no one knows anything?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, there's not room for
Yeah.
those on commercial, airlines.
I don't know.
All the room on those is
How much silver are we talking about?
probably a good amount.
I didn't
to
think
spray
it
that
was-
much all over the place.
I didn't think it was that much. I wrote it on one of the slides. It was like 180 pounds or something.
That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't very much. I thought I put it on one of these slides. Maybe I didn't, but
But also, like, no one has motive to do that all the time. It rains in places where planes don't really fly over, so you can't attribute all rain to.
yeah,
Chemtrails.
I'm not doing that.
Well, that's where it sounded like you were headed.
I'm just trying to like say that we don't really know what the heck is happening. That's my point.
Well, I mean, that's true with a lot of the chemtrail stuff, and I know people like to point at that as like, well, that's a nonsense, crazy conspiracy theory. People bitch about that all the time. But people in the government have openly admitted to the fact that they're spraying shit in the air.
Look,
The governor of Tennessee supposedly put a bill into action saying, "Hey, don't do that over Tennessee."
that's
anymore.
on one of my slides. If it's a crazy
Congratulations.
conspiracy, you know what? Screw you, man. If it's such a crazy conspiracy, why would Tennessee acknowledge that it's real and ban it?
Yeah, right. We banned that here.
Yeah.
To get back to, I can't get back to my little rant now. But yeah, you're right.
You seen the CDC's logo?
No.
Boy, I love your responses to me sometimes. John,
What do you want me to say?
be like, no. What are you trying to say about the CDC logo?
Why
you
don't
can
you
do
tell
a
me?
little. John is clicking through. Yeah, dude, look at that. So the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, doesn't it look like chemtrails in the sky? Isn't that interesting? The part of the reason why it does that all the time. We are so sick, right, is because of the food we eat, all the shots we're taking. But maybe some of it could be the stuff that they're spraying in the sky, a combination of all that. And I wonder how much chemtrails contributed to whatever was going on during Corona.
Why do you wonder that?
Because there was a bunch of people, like I knew some people that went in the hospital,
Right.
right, and they were sick with something, and then they went on ventilators and died.
Okay.
And so maybe it's had something to do with what they were spraying in the air that was already like susceptible to a certain type of person. I don't know, just spitballing.
I would doubt it
And
as
it
far
would-
as that goes.
And it would lead some credence to this picture right here, and tie it all in together.
I think those things are probably unrelated. Reason being, chemtrails have been around for a hot minute, longer than Corona, and so
No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they are tied to Corona exclusively. I'm saying perhaps they contributed to Corona.
Man. I think that's a misleading statement.
What?
when you say perhaps they contributed to corona, it sounds like they would have more of an effect than I think you're suggesting. I think you're suggesting, much like a bad diet would contribute to that whole situation. Perhaps chemtrails also contributed to that situation. I think it's what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have done they switched up the chemicals or done a more specific type. I don't know. They could have altered it in a way because we were already normalized to it. We just see the chemtrails and just think, oh, that's just normal now. Even though it's now that I see it, it's so fake looking. Like they're in crisscross patterns, and then 30 minutes later, it's all just this misty, sun's gone, cloudy after a perfectly fine morning. But it doesn't happen all the time, which is super weird. It makes me think it's somehow tied to where the sun is. They've got it. They're trying to block out sunlight too. But
well, I mean, there's that whole Bill Gates thing, right? You know what I'm talking about? Bill Gates has fact check me on this, John, but I'm pretty sure this exists. Bill Gates, I think it's Bill Gates, has a patent on a compound that can be sprayed in the air to reflect sunlight.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it has aluminum in it, and I think it's Bill Gates. Check me on this.
He has a patent on hurricane, a hurricane stopper, or hurricane, coagulant, for lack of a better word.
Right.
I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I didn't know about this.
All right, here's the article on it. Let's scroll down. Bill Gates venture to block the sun out.
Wow, how old is this? Oh, look, hey, that right there is called the Analema.
What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean what are you talking about?
Is that a time lapse of the sun in the same location over multiple different days? Or never mind. Just keep going.
What's the word, John?
You're right. He's funding some patent. I'm trying to see if this is showing more what the technology is.
Well, so if I remember correctly, the technology is not dissimilar to chemtrails, and that what they're doing, and let me know if I'm correct, is spraying they'll claim it's non-toxic, but spraying basically a dust into the air to reflect sunlight back out into the atmosphere to try to stem global warming.
Yeah, according to this Forbes article, it's a non-toxic calcium carbonate dust.
Carbonate?
Carbonate, yes.
Carbonate is Star Wars.
Yep, nope, you're right. A sun-reflecting aerosol that may offset the effects of global warming.
All right, so right there, dude, first of all, global warming. Global, there is no globe. Warming, it's not getting warming because it's getting colder in some areas. So right there,
that's what they say.
It's bullshit, okay?
I'm not sure I'm totally sold on the idea of global warming or cooling, because the places that information's coming, who knows,
I'm just breaking down.
It's one of those unfalsifiable things that you like to complain about.
Yeah, it's absurd. You could just say anything and then spend $1 million on it, or way more than $1 million. $1 million's not even anything anymore. $1 trillion on it.
Right.
All right. Second of all, why does Bill Gates have the authority to do any of this? He's allegedly just
he's doing some wild dude.
Dude, he's helping the Chinese buy up farms, all across America. He's got his 666 patents with the microchips.
Right.
He's got he's got the hurricane inhibitors or coagulants, whatever
and not to get off on a tangent, but a lot of this stuff he's doing is in the name of reducing the carbon footprint. And one of the big things that people are doing to try to make that happen is buying up a lot of farmland for the sake of monocropping, and also trying to produce fake meat, right? Things like the Impossible Burger or 3D printing meat or whatever it happens to be. The wild thing is, all of those, there's a net carbon output into the atmosphere, right? Period. You're also killing a fuck ton of little animals, so the vegans should hate that. The one thing that I know of that's a net carbon sink, and there was a study done on this, I believe with White Oak Pastures, there was a study done on this that found that rotational grazing, holistic land management, is a net carbon sink. So that's the only farming practice that I'm aware of that actually sequesters carbon into the soil.
Well, let's go a step farther, and so what you're saying is the stuff they're doing is completely counterintuitive to what they're allegedly even trying to fight.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe that 100% because they're all morons. But what are we even trying to fight? What's wrong with this carbon? What's wrong with carbon footprints?
I mean, nobody ever questions that statement.
I know. It's so dumb. It's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So you're telling me that burning coal is somehow going to end the world?
Yeah. People seem to operate off of the idea that an increased carbon footprint will lead to the destruction of vegetation, and ergo it will lead to the destruction of animal species as a result of the destruction of the plant life. And what seems it seems that the opposite is probably the case, right? What did you learn in second grade about the life cycle of plants and animals? What do plants live off of?
Carbon monoxide.
No, carbon dioxide.
Oh,
Carbon
yeah.
monoxide will kill you.
Well, whatever. I mean, it's CO2.
But the stuff people are worried about is all the carbon dioxide that we're releasing into the atmosphere. What's that doing to the vegetation? It's got more air to breathe, more or less, if you want to look at it that way. And so the forests maybe are perhaps a little bit more. I mean, there are some obvious problems with all the dirty factories are putting out. There are some obvious issues with a lot of the toxins that they're putting out. Like,
yeah,
I'm not.
But that's not carbon.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Putting like aluminum sulfate dioxide or triethylene into the soil, that is not carbon. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You should be worried about your synthetic, like, plastic footprint, not your effing carbon. That's so stupid, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. George Carlin.
It's a club,
you know
and
who that is?
I know exactly who that is. You ain't in the club, man.
Okay,
None of us are.
George, what?
That's his famous thing. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Oh, well, George Carlin had a bit about how, like, there are all these morons who are worried about, the industry and how we're going to destroy the earth. He's like, I'm not worried about it at all. You know what's going to still be here if I die from pollution? The earth. It's going to be just fine. And, I mean, I think he was dead on the money. Like, absolutely correct.
Well, I mean, I do think there's something to be said with pumping all these chemicals into our rivers and, like, scorching the farmlands with all this monocropping and fertilizers.
All of that's bad. We can agree that all of that's bad.
Could you get to the point where you destroy the earth? That can probably heal itself. But to your point, can humans, like, the arrogance of a man to think, or human in general to think, we can destroy this creation,
right?
Is we can destroy ourselves, we can destroy our, like, local environments, but yeah, to think that we can destroy the entire earth, I don't know. I kind of agree with you there.
I don't think it can be destroyed. Like,
not by us.
Well,
not by us.
Yeah. I don't think we as people, at least in this iteration of people, can do it. I don't think we can. I think the earth is too resilient. I think it's too massive. Like, there's just no way we're destroyed. Especially, like, nobody's out to, drain the Atlantic Ocean. Nobody's out to destroy nobody's out to do that. It's just these supposed issues are incidental to some kind of manufacturing or whatever it happens to be,
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't think any human's out to do that, but like I've said, everything's so, like, compartmentalized that you never know what the true purpose for all these gigantic multinational, like, getting together lockstep stuff actually is.
Well, I mean, do you think there's somebody whose, like, sole purpose in life is to destroy the Amazon? No, there's somebody whose sole purpose is probably to, like, make paper, and they're incidentally cannibalizing some of the Amazon.
Well,
these are different things.
Yeah, or higher than that, there's probably somebody whose sole purpose is to get, like, massive urbanization in Brazil and get X amount of people in X amount of area and have X amount of,
Sure.
There's probably somebody whose sole purpose is that, and because it goes way beyond money. But you're right, it just happens to destroy the Amazon.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
I need a break. I need to go get another beverage.
Another one? How many we got left?
Enough. You want one?
I would like one too.
Right.
Hey, what time is it?
We're
8:03.
Okay, yeah, I can take another one.
Yeah.
Because I got to get up and go to work tomorrow, and if it's like 11:30,
you don't have to go to work.
I do have to go tomorrow. You're just jealous. What do we got in there?
I am jealous. So, what do we have in the fridge?
Yeah.
I'll look.
Yeah, if there's a cerveza, I want that. Please.
Tell me more about weather modification.
John, go to my slide. Please, sir. Go to the third one, okay? So before we get a bunch of people on TikTok saying how dumb we are, these are facts. This is not a conspiracy. This is stuff is on freaking Wikipedia. Declassified documents that they admit. I mean, they've had testimony on some of them. Probably the most egregious one here. Well, they're probably the most explicitly egregious one here is Operation Popeye. Where's Carson going? Oh, he's got to get his fancy glass. Operation Popeye, which the U.S. Army in the Vietnam War successfully extended monsoon season to flood out Vietnam roads, to disrupt their supply lines, and all this crap. Yeah, all this crap through. They straight up admit it, dude. They did it for. It's like they did it for like 3 years in the Vietnam War, and there was all kinds of tribunals about it. They declassified it. I forget when. Should have put that in the slide. No, maybe it was Storm. I'm getting them all confused. But this really happened. When they say they revealed it, John?
July 3rd, 1972.
Okay, well, that was a different one I was thinking of in the 90s. But this is a fact. This is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. So you can't call us conspiracy theorists. You can't say whether modification is a conspiracy theorist. It's a real thing, and they do it. So to equate it to one of my favorites, MK Ultra, oh, they just did it back then. They would never do that now. Right. That's if you believe that, then you are a retard. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm just going to say it. That if they did it now, they're doing it. If they did it then, they're doing it now.
This is called Operation Popeye?
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch more. We'll cover a couple more of them. But this is one of me probably the most egregious, or explicitly egregious, because they're all egregious. But
and how long did you say they extended monsoon season for?
Like 45 days, dude.
Damn. How? What did they do?
Cloud seeding, I believe.
That's wild.
Yeah. And it just flooded out innocent, think of the collateral damage. Like, even for the military target, like, these people are so sick. Like, oh, sure, the means justify the ends. We could just ruin these people's rice fields, and they're just trying to live.
You mean the end justifies the means?
Yeah. Did I say it backwards?
You did.
Y'all know I'm not an orator. Never claimed to be. I did give a rousing speech once in high school that lots of people said was good, but I didn't write it. But I delivered it well.
Okay. Great.
What was I saying? That totally derailed me.
You're talking about Operation Popeye.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's happening again. Plus, think of the budget for Operation Popeye in 1972. Okay? What do you think it was? I don't know, $200 million? Multiply that by...
let's see if that's on the internet.
Multiply that by infinity, and that's what you've got in 2024 with DARPA, with HARP, and like all these covert ops that are going on.
2.1 million.
Yeah, I mean that's a frick ton of money right now. I mean, what could you do with 2.1 million?
I wouldn't be doing this podcast with you, that's for sure.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no, it's a.
Hey, John, how much is 2.1 million in today's you know what I'm trying to say?
In today's money?
Yeah.
Accounting for inflation.
Yeah. It's a bunch, I bet. Probably like, I'm going to guess 48 million. That's my guess.
Does the Google AI not figure that out for us? How dare it not do that?
I can't. That's too small. I can't read it.
$2 million in 1968 is equivalent in purchasing power to about 18.1 million today.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a frick ton.
It's not as drastic as I thought, honestly.
Still a lot. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, that's still an
just the fact that it's changed at all is proof that we're being robbed.
Price increase of 800%.
Yeah. But when you think of 1968, and what people were probably paying for back then, I don't know. Anyway, that's insane that they were able to, and this is admitted by the U.S. military, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's freaking Wikipedia and Project. John, go back to that slide, please. Another one that was pretty crazy was Project Seal was wild. All right, so that's New Zealand. This is a World War II thing. They successfully figured out how to create tsunamis in World War II.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Explain. I need to hear more.
They would line up like these chains of explosions, and they would just do like underwater explosions, and they would just do trial and error with like how far they would be from land and how far underwater and how much like powder. whatever. It's not powder, whatever it is.
Dynamite?
Maybe TNT. What's the difference in TNT and dynamite?
They're the same thing.
How much explosive, like weight they need, and they successfully got it right. And I wrote down what they said the optimal was on there. So they've had tsunami bombs since World War II, openly admitted. It's called Project SEAL.
It says it took 400,000 pounds.
Yeah, 5 miles off the shore.
Does it say 5 or 15 miles off the shore?
I can't. I regret making this so small.
He wrote F5 miles.
Okay,
off
then
the
it's
West
5.
Coast,
No,
so
that's
that's
5.
retarded.
No, it's supposed to be 5.
All right.
Should have fact checked.
That's wild. That is absolutely
Oh, a
wild.
33-foot wave too. How did Dad miss that? But yeah, dude. And that's 80 years old.
Damn.
But we're just conspiracy theories for talking about it on YouTube. Because I know we're going to trigger some of the TikTok people that got triggered by our evolution stuff.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Which everybody go check out our shorts. Boy, we nailed it. We had 54 comments.
That really pissed some people off.
It did.
I try not to look at the comments just because there's no use.
Yeah, I'm in charge of replying to the comments. So leave us a comment. I'll try to get to it. I'll try not to insult you. But if I'm feeling particularly vile, you might get one. You might get a little bit insulted. Go back to that slide, John. I want to look at the rest of them. The verified. Like, this is verified stuff. That's what's so crazy. Like, I still can't even really, like, wrap my mind around the fact that, yeah, it's just okay. we just let our government spend $70 trillion to modify the weather, and that's cool. You know, I'm going to get them go to work when we've got insane psychopaths who we don't even know. We're not electing these people. Like, this is part of, like, the
right.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G conglomerate.
The 3 letters. All
Right.
3-letter agencies.
Right. You know, that they just, the deep state that everyone rails against.
Yeah.
Well, the deep state's controlling weather, and they admit it, and we just go to work like nothing's unusual. And hurricanes come, and they, sack everything in Louisiana, flood 200 square miles of.
Well, I mean, how are you going to cloud seed a hurricane?
Oh, Bill Gates can. That's what he's got a patent for it, and that's also.
Do you have a slide on that?
I do have a slide on that. Also, one of those. Which one is it? Project Q? No, Storm Fury. Yeah, Storm Fury. That's what they did. They the United States government.
Go back to that slide, John. I want to hear more about that.
Project Storm Fury is the one where they are effing around with hurricanes. Now, of course, man, because
tell me more than they were effing around with hurricanes.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm setting the backdrop.
All right.
Of course, the story is our government is so loving. Our government is so concerned about the citizens that they're trying to stop the hurricanes from hitting.
Okay.
They would never experiment the other way. Even if they did try to stop the hurricanes from hitting, they would never think to themselves, well, if we could weaken them, can we strengthen them?
Right.
They would never think to themselves to do that.
I'm sure they wouldn't.
Right? And give me a break, man. These guys are crazy. Yeah, so they successfully figured out, like, what chemicals to drop into like the eye wall of a hurricane to make it change shape, to make the, change direction. John.
Wow. So they're not creating hurricanes here; they're manipulating them.
Right. Where did it say about Savannah? Do I have one about Savannah?
Savannah, Georgia?
Yeah, they did this. They actually did this to a hurricane. They documented in the 60s. I thought I wrote it on there what hurricane it was called. I could have sworn I did. Yeah, go down. The one that's got the green on it, the green radar that's moving. No, shoot, Well, they successfully did this to a hurricane that hit Savannah in the 1960s. Like, it was going to go out to, and there was a whole congressional hearing about it. It's dadgummit. I could have sworn I wrote that down. John, Google, hurricane redirected to Savannah, 1960s congressional inquiry. They had successfully done this. Like, it was going to go out to sea, and then they did a bunch of stuff through Project Storm Fury, and it hit Savannah. It might even be on the Wikipedia article of Project Storm Fury. I think that's probably where I read it. Go up, John. Or not. Go to the Wikipedia article. It'll have the name of the hurricane in there. Go down. You see it anywhere?
Can we search for Savannah
No.
on the page?
Yeah. Do a Control F. Hurricane. Is it Hurricane Debbie? That might have been it. Yeah. Here we are.
All right. So let's read. Let's. Okay. Let's see here. They sent a B-17 and a B-29 to intercept the hurricane.
Yeah. This is real.
What
dude.
in the
This is
world?
real.
I
This
mean,
is the stuff they're telling us about. Can you
they-
imagine the stuff they're not?
Oh
What I
my
will say is
gosh.
they still do that. Like they send planes out into hurricanes to supposedly gather like
to
data,
gather information.
like gather the wind speeds, gather
So what's the
all of that. So
what's the
that
satellites
still
for?
happens today.
What's the satellites for then, John? Why do we send?
I mean, satellites just imaging. It like is what they would claim. This is to actually be able to gather like real wind speeds in the storm. So they do still send planes out there today. They did that with.
Well, that seems a little bit insane because conceptually we have this stuff to be able to measure those wind speeds from a distance. Like, supposedly modern technology can do that. So there's really no reason to send planes out there
Yeah.
to measure, you know. So that seems a little bit crazy.
Carson, I agree with you. If they can tell us that 400 trillion light years away there is a meteoroid the size of 2 garages, and that's made of sulfur dioxide. Okay, if they can tell you that, then they should be able to tell
Yeah,
you the
John,
wind speed of a hurricane that's
Go back to that article. Let's figure out
200
what
miles
happened
away.
with the. So what happened in Savannah? Does it say they successfully?
Yeah, it changed direction, dude. The public blamed it, okay? So this is way back in like the 60s. I think this is the
Well, the
60s.
public blamed the seeding, but did they actually successfully change the direction of the hurricane? Is the question.
So
Just
the
because
way,
the public blamed it.
Well,
doesn't
of
mean
course,
anything.
of course Wikipedia is going to say
yeah,
no, dude.
no. So the way I'm reading this article is that they went out and seeded the hurricane, and the hurricane changed direction, making landfall near Savannah, Georgia. So the public blamed them for it coming to
Right.
Savannah,
The-
Georgia.
The predicted path,
Okay.
you know how they do the predicted path?
Yeah.
It was going off in the ocean. They go out there, drop their crap in it. It changes direction, goes to Savannah.
Okay. Interesting. So we're
And
changing
like
the
I s-
direction of hurricanes
right.
now.
And now, that's what I was fixing to say. It's not now. This is in the freaking 60s.
Right.
What are they doing now?
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean, there is no telling what's going on now.
60 years ago.
Yeah. In 2024, where we've
Yeah.
quintupled this too. How much farther are we in technology than we were in the 60s?
Well, all right, here's a question. So we always hear that, like, weather often is either strengthened or dissipates as a result of the energy in the area. There's all this directed energy weapon talk. We doing anything with that? That would be my question.
We're burning down Hawaii, man.
Get a blue roof, folks.
Yeah, man. They were putting up blue roofs in China. That was a whole big thing.
But I mean, you hear that all the time. Is like, the hurricane's out over warm water, thus it's strengthening, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly, these directed energy weapons are similar in function to microwaves. And what do microwaves do? They cause friction inside of a water molecule, causing it to heat up, right? That's the sort of thing that would, conceptually, give that storm a great deal more strength, because that's just going to add thermal energy to the storm. And
Yeah.
so you have to wonder,
I've got a whole book, man.
is that doable?
I've got a whole book about how that's how they did 9/11. I'm serious.
Oh, what?
No, there was a hurricane like out over the coast of 9/11, or of New York on 9/11. I can't remember what it was called. It was like a but it like showed up right in time off the coast for 9/11 and then dissipated.
You're saying somebody was like, we got to do 9/11, get that hurricane out of here? And you have
No.
a whole book on that?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote a whole book on that.
Yeah, I can literally go get it right now. Well, you can go get it.
Hurricane Aaron and Dr. Judy something who
Right.
wrote that.
John, go get it. Go get it. It's on my bookshelf. I can show the
I
audience.
can go get it.
Okay.
I
think it's
What happened
What
to
the
where did
hell?
the towers go? Is what it's called.
It was controlled demolition, obviously.
Yeah, but the initial I still don't know what I think, but it's just on my nonfiction side, but I think it's Where did the towers go? It's not on the one my grandfather built. It's on the other one, I think. Did that? He'll find. You think he'll find it, John? I don't trust Carson at all. I'm not good at directions either. Yeah, and I haven't read it all. I've read a little bit of it. I got so much stuff I need to read. It's like a never-ending. Oh, I'm going solo, y'all. I'm the worst person to try and bridge all this dead air. But what? That's what I was saying. I was like, I'm the worst person to be left alone with. Because I just immediately started reading the blurb on that. So who knows how long I was quiet for?
Well, I couldn't find the book, so neither could John.
Are you serious? Well,
I'm sorry. I believe you that the book.
The screen share of it.
I believe that the book exists. We're okay.
Yeah, I was gonna read a little section about that hurricane.
Well, you should have been prepared.
Can y'all just not go in there and get it?
I can't find it.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go get it.
That should have been what happened in the first place.
Yeah, clearly.
So there's that. I didn't know anything about a hurricane in 9/11. You're about to stick that crotch right in my face. I'm excited.
Well, I don't know what he's going to try to claim about the hurricane, but Dr. Judy Wood, her theory on 9/11 is that direct energy weapons is what caused the collapse. So I'm assuming what that's going to say is that hurricane is like maybe a side, as we were saying earlier, a side effect of that.
Yeah.
Because she focuses. I haven't read the book, but I've watched some videos by her. I think she focuses mainly
so fast.
Yeah, I think she mainly focuses on like the damage from Building 6 to like back her claim of that, because Building 6 like crushed from the middle, the way it fell or the way it kind of was damaged. But Robert can probably speak more.
She wrote a whole book on this?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Got it right here in front of me, Boone. Look how...
And the fact that somebody...
I just called you Boone, which is my son's name.
I'm not your kid.
Yeah. Look at this, dude. This is a pretty thick
The
book.
fact that somebody bought that book is wild.
Wow, what a thing to see. You're not... That was a very closed-minded thing to say.
No, I'm just saying, I've always looked at books like that and wondered... Who buys that?
John, well, me.
It's you.
John, pull up a picture of I got a picture of the dude on there. On my slideshow.
The dude? You mean directed energy weapon?
Directed energy
I thought we were about to pull up a picture of a can of Mountain Dew.
Well, there is the Maui burst that came out the year that...
I know.
And Joe Biden being like, we're laser focused on helping all the... John, I've got it on my slideshow.
You need to pull up a better one.
Okay, well, I did all that work for nothing then. I'm going to look for the hurricane in here real quick.
You're going to look for the hurricane in the book. Murph found the... Oh, there it is. There it is, John. In the middle of that. To the right. And down. Down. Down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the literal one I got on my slideshow. Could have just flipped that up.
You can't see it on the screen share very well.
Well, let's get to a picture where we can really look at it, because this is weird. I've always do those have to be mounted on planes?
I've seen a bunch of TikToks of them having like mini versions of that, and they'll like go through and it'll just like instantly burn every fabric that it sees except blue colored ones.
That's very strange. Can I buy one of those on like TikTok Shop or something?
I don't know. Maybe
for Temu?
What is Temu?
It's you remember when Wish was popular? You remember that?
No. I've seen Lego sets on Temu for like really cheap. Is that real?
It's like fake stuff.
So it's not real.
I mean, it's real. You can probably go on there and buy it, but you may or may not get scammed, and it may or may not show up in 8 to 12 weeks. Like, sketchy. It exists, and I know people who have bought things off of there that have, and it's been fine. But it's sketchy. Yeah, it's real sketchy.
This book is overwhelming. Like the index. Oh, here we go.
The kind of person who's going to write a book like that is going to be...
It's on page 395 is when it starts.
Autistic enough to have a crazy, crazy table of contents. It's going to be ultra specific.
$395.
So what are you looking in there for?
I was just gonna see what it says about the hurricane. I mean, we can go on to something else.
So you're just gonna
but-
like start reading to us? This is like
Well,
story time with Dad.
You know what? I just love how you're so just. Ooh, look at that, dude! Oh my gosh, look at this beam.
It's like story time with Dad.
Everybody needs to get this book. We'll put a link into it in the description. In that.
Are we gonna get like affiliate money from this woman? Are we just advertising for her for free?
Oh, I am. You can do your own thing.
All right, so moving on.
Yeah, we can move on.
What else do you have to share with me about this?
Yeah, there was a hurricane. Hurricane Aaron.
We already knew
Yeah,
that.
all
John
right.
looked that up a minute ago.
Oh, where were we?
I don't know. He disrupted us. Go back to his mother slideshow, John.
Yeah, just a second. Were you looking into that book just to find out if there was a hurricane?
I was seeing if there's anything written about it, but Carson was slowly chipping away at
Okay.
my desire to keep going as I was feeling more and more ashamed of myself for perusing through this book.
If there's one natural talent I have, that's what it is.
So, mission accomplished, brother. Hey, John, have we covered all the operate? Go to that Doppler one. Down one. Nope. Yeah, nope, up one. The Doppler. Yeah.
Nobody knew that was a Doppler. I thought that was a water tower.
I was looking at
No,
the
that's-
Doppler radar.
That's
Yes,
That-
yeah, that's what I thought too. The one with Doppler radar. That would have made sense.
that is what generates the green. So, but
Okay.
that's fair enough. I wasn't specific. So they do the same thing with thunderstorms with Project Baton down there. They did stuff in Arizona again in the '60s, and this is all the Army in joint, like, it's like a division of the Army, like the Army
Yeah.
Corps of something,
Right.
in joint.
Concert with?
Yeah, right. In concert with the U.S. Office of Naval Development and the Air Force and a bunch of private companies. I think GE was in on Project Sirius. So that lumps it back into the military-industrial complex. Wait, John, what are you doing right now?
I need PowerPoint, John.
Yeah, I was gonna. Have we covered all the ones on here? Yeah.
This
So
is-
all right. So these are, and obviously there's more examples. You can go through and find more examples. But
Yeah.
everything on here, verified facts. You can't even deny it. You can't deny it. It's not a conspiracy theory. This happened.
Okay. What point are you trying to make? I
Like,
don't-
how can we turn a blind eye to this? Even you, like, what point are we not outraged? Are we not concerned? How do we get accountability to these guys? None of these people are elected. They're
Yeah.
just taking all our tax dollars. They're spraying the air with God knows what. They're blowing up bombs, creating tsunamis. And I know how crazy that sounds, but it's all
That sounds insane.
it's verified facts. They've been
sounds
doing it.
so insane.
It's verified facts. They've been doing it for 80 years.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, why aren't people pissed off? Why isn't anybody upset about it? A, no one knows. Like, who knows about? I didn't know about this until just now. B, even if I know about it, what the hell am I going to do about it? That's the other side of that coin. And so,
Yeah.
like,
that'll-
nobody's upset because they don't know, and B, even if they did, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to walk up to Capitol Hill and start pitching a fit around the senator and get shot? What am I going to do?
This gets back to your rant from our military district. That's an
Right.
excellent point, man. Biggest thing is we can spread the knowledge. That's what we're trying to do with this podcast. I know we screw around and have a lot of fun, but that's ultimately one of my goals is to try and get as many people to really think about what the F is happening on this earth.
Okay, but that's only, like, that doesn't do anything about, that makes people aware,
Yeah, well, maybe stronger than us might lead. And I know that sounded dark, but hey, John, go to the next slide.
You're basically just calling me a bitch.
I'm calling, and I said us, dude. I said us. Did I not say us?
You did,
I was,
but I'm not worried about you getting offended.
This national. All right, so NOAA, the National Ocean.
NOAA,
Yeah,
the weather people that everybody knows
right.
about.
Yeah, right. First of all, their acronym is NOAA, and they're over the weather. How ironic is that? There's got to be something there. Second, they have a record of everything because they're supposed to by U.S. law.
A record.
A record of what? Records of weather modification projects on behalf of the Secretary of Commerce under the authority of public law. Blah 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 blah.
Can we
blah,
get a hold
blah,
of
blah,
that?
blah blah blah. Probably.
We should have gotten a hold of that.
So if this is a conspiracy theory, why does NOAA have a record
Wait,
of all?
before you go away from that, John, bounce around. Stay still for a minute. All right, finish what you were saying, Murph.
If weather modification, weather warfare, all this stuff is a conspiracy theory, why is there a record of all of it with the U.S. government per 18 blah 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 all this crap? 15 U.S.C. 3308 enacted in 1971, right?
Yeah, no, I mean you're dead on.
So anybody like who attempts to deny this, I'm just gonna savage you on TikTok because it mostly comes from TikTok. Twitter's cool, YouTube's mostly cool. This is a real deal. That's my point. Like even in the mainstream narrative, and if it's a real deal in the mainstream narrative, can you imagine what is actually happening?
Yeah, that's fair. So two questions. A, the bill, the Tennessee bill that has disappeared again. What's going on with that?
I don't know. I just know that the state of Tennessee, which I have no affiliations with at all, other than they share the name as to a place that I live, but they passed a law. Basically, just, I mean, is it going to do anything? No, they're virtue signaling.
Well, what is the law? I don't care about your rhetoric. I just care about what
read
you
it. Read it up there.
I can't read it. I want to know what you know about it.
I don't know about it. That's why I wrote it down so I could read it. Come back and read it later. John, zoom in or something.
He's gonna look it up. Okay, so you know nothing about the laws, what you're saying.
I just know basically the law is from my I know a little bit. From my understanding,
Okay.
it's basically like a proclamation, be like, hey, don't do that here. But it has no teeth.
Okay,
It's like an acknowledgement.
it's an acknowledgement of the fact that it's happening,
Right, and we don't want that happening.
A proclamation that we would like that to not happen over us.
Right.
Okay,
But they have absolutely nothing they can do about it.
well, the government doesn't have jurisdiction over 400 feet in the air. Like, what are we gonna do? You know,
Surface to air missiles, Tennessee National Guard. Hey, you start
I don't
spraying
think anybody's
that
gonna
stuff.
start shooting down.
Well, I
planes.
mean, I know, but if you really wanted to do something about it,
I think Bill Lee, our governor, is gonna start.
we would get this Confederate Army back together, and we would do something about it.
That seems a little excessive.
Okay.
I'm not trying to shoot people down.
So it prohibits the intentional injection, release, or dispersion of any means of chemicals or chemical compounds, substances, or apparatus within the borders of the state into the atmosphere, with express purpose of affecting temperature, weather, or the intensity of sunlight.
So it's like a condom for chemtrails.
Well, this is basically just the government's way of acknowledging that it's real, which I never want this to be out of context. Okay, to anybody who may clip this out of context, but I can respect that a little bit. I can respect that government. They're actually
no, I get it.
they're actually like
that's respectable.
it has no teeth. They're doing nothing, but they're at least acknowledging it. So kudos to our boys up in the Capitol in Nashville. I've been there once. There's people buried in the walls. Super creepy. That whole complex where the Parthenon is, all of that is creepy. Tartarian probably. But good for you, Bill Lee.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Good for them for finally admitting it. So people can't, categorically, you can't say that chemtrails aren't real. They're definitely a thing.
Yeah.
There's no question. Your government admits it. Also, something you said earlier that kind of ties into that, and it wasn't anything you said explicitly, but it's the idea that people it's the idea that people...
Dude, your eyes are bloodshot.
I got something in my left eye.
Keep talking. Oh my God, you look like you're high right now.
I'm not. I have a drug test tomorrow. It's the idea that people won't believe anything until is there any proof? Are there any government documents? Have there been any whistleblowers? It's if they're running the program well, guess what? There won't be. That doesn't mean something's not happening.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I couldn't agree with that more. The idea that this isn't happening unless they say it's happening is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's retarded.
You ever watched a spy movie? Okay, you don't think they're spies? You don't think they're good at their job? Right? If I had $800 trillion to just try and cover up something, I bet I could, right? I'm not a complete stupid moron. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But if I had enough money, I could have people killed. I could bribe people.
There's no end to what you could do.
Right, exactly, dude. So it's just naive to it's like an ostrich putting its head in the sand and just all right, just run me over, just kill me.
Yeah. That's a dramatic metaphor, but all right. Simile, excuse me. That was a simile.
It's just dumb, yeah, because I said like her ass.
Right.
They drilled that into our brains as older age elementary school kids. A simile has like her ass, all right? Metaphors don't. Sorry, that was a complete non sequitur. But it worked. Just like a mitochondria is the powerhouse of a cell. Boy, did they beat that into us.
They did. Big time.
Lord, what were we talking about?
You'd think we went to Catholic school, getting shit beaten into our heads.
I remember that from elementary school.
Damn.
I remember those things.
Yeah, no, me too. Like the water cycle. Remember it. Yeah.
And then there's also that, and we can get to the conspiracy in a minute, because that's kind of how I ended my slide.
Okay, but
I wanted to mention, like, everybody seen that video of, like, NASA's cloud factory in Mississippi?
That thing's wild.
Dude, it's insane.
Bring up that video real quick,
John, pull that up. And they just be like, yeah, we have this humongous thing that looks like an engine off a Star Destroyer, and it's spitting out clouds, and it's going to rain somewhere, like over Vicksburg, in 30 minutes.
It's nuts.
Dude, it's crazy. It's owned by NASA, I believe. Yeah, that's it right there, John.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Go beyond.
Oh.
Go beyond. Just kill the volume on the video, John. Nobody needs to hear it.
Yeah, or we got a Patreon. Send us money so we can get YouTube Premium.
That too.
Please. I mean,
we got to set up our Patreon.
I hate ads. Well, I got a P.O. Box. P.O. Box 1883. Columbia, Tennessee 38402. Look at this.
Send us cash.
Look at this.
That is ridiculous. Like,
and there's this white guy.
Is that Jeremy Clarkson?
I don't know who is that? Is that guy from Top Gun?
He's a Top Gear guy, not Top Gun.
I meant Top
or
Gear.
Val Kilmer.
I meant Top Gear.
Yeah, that's the Top Gear guy.
Yeah.
He almost looks like Jeremy Clarkson. That is outrageous.
And that looks like a cloud. Right? It doesn't look. Really,
yeah, it looks like those clouds you see in this. It looks like one close to the ground.
Yeah. All right. Now it don't look like a cloud when it's coming out of that thing, but when it's in the sky, it looks like a cloud.
That's Jeremy Clarkson. What the?
Is that? Well,
that's the Top Gear guy.
You don't get to be that successful.
That's him young. Like, this video was from a long time ago.
Yeah. And that's in Mississippi somewhere.
I think that's Jeremy Clark. It looks like him.
I don't know. It's so grainy and terrible. I have no idea.
I'm going to try to figure that out.
Plus,
that's going to bother me.
I never really got the whole point of Top Gear. I mean, yeah,
it's just entertaining.
They got some cool cars, but it's just a bunch of old guys fighting with each other.
That's what's entertaining about it.
I mean,
it's like WWE, but less dramatic. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my thing, but I guess.
So
that's just.
They have a cloud machine in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing they have.
Yeah, and NASA gets like $80 million a day. So what are they doing that? I thought we were going to space.
NASA hasn't even thought about going to space. We can't get past the Van Allen belt now. We could do it in the 60s.
That's right. That's Don Pettit. He sounds like such a child. Like, why? How did he get to be the poster boy for NASA?
I don't know.
Ridiculous. That'll be a whole nother episode.
Now they're paying Musk to solve their problems for them.
That's right. Yeah, sending that Tesla into space. We know it's so real. We know it's real because it looks so fake. Well, it might just be fake because it is. And how do the tires stay inflated? Okay, how does the paint not melt?
How do the tires not burst?
Yeah, because it's a freaking terrible CGI in there.
If it's pressurized, they wouldn't burst. I guess it's a fair point.
So, all right, you're telling me
tires don't need gravity; they need pressure.
Listen, all right, let's just go. All right, we're doing this. How much PSI does a tire have? 60? If it's like
45.
Okay, 45. The vacuum of space is 10 to the negative 17 torque.
Yeah, in a vacuum, it would certainly explode. I'm not arguing that point.
Yeah, it would freaking blow up instantly.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Well, that's my point.
But their assertion isn't that it was in a vacuum.
Yeah, it's in effing space.
Their assertion is that the Tesla, I assume, did they shoot the Tesla into space or into, was it inside of a vessel that went into space?
Have you not seen this video? No. It's the most retarded thing you've ever seen in your life.
I have not.
Dude, their claim is that they took an unaltered Tesla from the factory and just shot it into space on orbit to Mars. And it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, there it is right there, John. That Elon Musk dummies astronaut.
Oh, I thought it was like inside of a rocket.
No, they're saying that's real. I mean, that Star Wars from 1977 looks better than that.
Oh my!
I am not even joking, dude.
That's one of those robots, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to Tesla.
It looks like it.
I mean, I would like to own a Tesla in conjunction with my truck. Right? Does that make sense? Like, I don't want my Tesla to be my only thing, but that is effing ridiculous, dude.
That looks so fake.
I know. It's retarded. And look at the tires. How's it not pop?
Yeah, that would have exploded
Yeah.
unless they made solid tires just for this one thing.
No, well, they first of all right, that would be incredible.
Although-
Whoever could do that should be like designing like force fields for the army. Second of all, Elon specifically said they did nothing to it. It was one right off the lot.
Okay. Then yeah, those tires would have exploded. For sure. There's no question.
Yeah. I don't know how we got on this, but that video is retarded.
Assuming the gas tank was well, those don't have a gas tank. Never mind. It's a Tesla.
The electric gas tank.
I stopped myself.
I'm glad you did. We got there.
All right, so that video is for sure fake. How has nobody thought of that?
What?
The fact that the tires would have exploded.
Oh, they have.
Okay.
They're just, called conspiracy theorists.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this clearly computer-generated video. I feel like they could have done a better job making that look real.
I know. They're just mocking us, dude. They absolutely could. I mean, heck.
That looks like
I know. Interstellar was...
Interstellar was great.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, it's
fantastic.
It's nonsense and it's reified concepts, but it's a great movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, bro.
It's sad.
It is sad. Oh, it has a kind of a happy ending.
I don't know. Kind of...
Bittersweet. It has a bittersweet.
Is it like a
ending.
Gladiator ending?
No, that's not happy at all. You tried to tell me the ending of Gladiator was happy. You should kill yourself. It was not happy at all. You.
That's
the ending of Gladiator is horrifically sad.
top 5. That's in my top 5 movies. And they're making a Gladiator 2 and just pooping in the face of one of the most perfect movies ever.
It is an excellent movie. And the fact that Gladiator 2 doesn't have Russell Crowe in it, which I could use dead,
Right.
is crazy.
Or Joaquin Phoenix, because he's
Right.
dead. Or
Right.
Richard Harris, because he's also dead.
He's yeah, but he's really dead.
So, yeah. Oh, that's true. He's dead in the movie and dead in real life.
Yeah, you're not having him in any.
He's
other
double
movies.
dead.
Yeah, double dead. If you will.
I see what you did there. Michael Gambon double dead. I tried to loop him in there too. I feel like if they'd have mixed, they need to mix those two Dumbledores. It'd have been the perfect one.
Yeah, for sure.
The fury of Gambon's Dumbledore is great, and the gentleness of Richard Harris is great, but the perfect is in the middle.
Should we do a self-indulgent episode just talking about Harry Potter over Christmas?
Dude, let's do it.
All right.
I've read Harry Potter more than y'all.
We don't even have to put it out.
Probably.
But
Why
should
would
do
we
it.
not? We've already spent thousands of dollars on all this equipment,
That's true.
and like there's no telling what my electricity bill is going to be. So
Oh, mine went up.
might as well keep putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to all our subscribers.
So to pull us back.
Harry can manipulate the weather,
Right.
right, with spells.
Yeah.
So he is a conspiracy theorist.
Right. Well, they tried to peg him as a conspiracy theorist in Harry Potter.
That's true, dude. And that's my favorite book. Because that's literally what the state does, man. They, like, isolate you and they get you, like, you're crazy, gaslight you. That's a good point, dude. They really did.
So you mentioned one last slide that you wanted to go over?
Yeah, just a couple, this is, like, more out there stuff, but weird, right? So a lot of the stuff they spray in the chemtrails is barium and aluminum, which if you look on the periodic table, is Baal, an ancient pagan god that means master or lord.
A little bit of a stretch, but all right. I'll entertain
John-
it for the sake of entertaining it.
So, John, what the heck is going on, dude? I can't. That was the one I wanted to end on, but that's why it was at the end. But go up past the.
What do you want now?
Go up past. No, where's the Milton? Did I not put Milton in here? No, I did. It's right. No, it's that. Yeah. No, Jesus, John, the one that's got red and blue
Slide
pictures.
5, John.
Yeah. All right. So this is weird. I sent this to you.
You did.
Yeah. You want to read it? Because my eyes are not
So
great.
the 5th governor of Florida was John Milton, and he took office on October 7th of...
F you, Carson. Why did you even try?
Are you capable of just not doing anything, John? Do you know how to do that?
No, John. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you going full screen. Seriously.
So, and he took office on the 7th of October, 1961. We fast forward to this past year. On the 7th of October, 2024, Hurricane Milton strikes Florida as a Category 5 hurricane. as the, and he was the
Isn't-
5th governor of the U.S. state of Florida.
What are the
Okay.
odds of that? dude?
It struck as a Category 3, but just a quick little correction there. That's
But it got up to a Category 5 before.
yeah.
hit
While it was
Florida.
in the Gulf, it was a Category 5,
Right.
but when it hit the state, it was
Yeah,
a
it even
Category
says that
3.
on that image.
Yep.
It says it was Category 3.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's a little wild. Could be coincidental. I mean, they may have known it was going to go towards Florida and decided to name it after their dear old governor. But yeah, no, that's pretty.
No, don't
crazy.
they do those like years in advance? How does that work?
They make those lists out beforehand. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just decide, oh, this one's going to go to Florida, so we'll name it Milton because of this guy.
right.
I'm pretty sure they probably decided that in like 2016, or they have like a cycle, or they,
Yeah.
a bunch
Well,
of
they
guys
definitely
that-
have a cycle. They go male, female, and they
They go through the alphabet.
go through the alphabet,
Yeah.
and they pick like a random starting place. It's not. It doesn't always start with A. I don't.
Doesn't? I thought it did.
Think. Does it?
I thought it did. I mean, you could be right, but I was under the impression that it did.
I could also be very wrong.
But that so many of them just went off and petered off that nobody gave an F.
Yeah.
But you could be right. I could.
You can be right. I may be crazy.
Dude, I gotta do something about how small this print is.
We just need a bigger screen.
Yeah. Bigger TV. We need more money.
Yeah. What are we doing? What are we looking at right now?
I don't know.
Just the naming system. I
Oh,
was
okay.
pulling-
Yeah,
John's-
let us know what you find out about that. John.
John's like melodic typing
Um,
lulled me into a state of alpha
So
brainwaves.
we have there's proof that just our government just manipulates the weather when we feel like
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
We don't talk to our citizens about that.
Nope.
Nobody says, "Hey, do you think this would be a good idea if?" Nobody mentions it. It's all
Yeah.
secret.
Nobody says, "Hey, I want to let me go down to the polling place." You know, we all get up in arms about Trump, Kamala, but nobody goes down to the polling place and be like, "Let me vote for the next guy or girl, young lad, who's going to be in charge of the storms tomorrow." We don't vote for that, but that's what the government does. Okay, and that's what they've done since the 40s. Nobody's voting for it. They're just doing it. They're taking your money and they're doing it. Can't deny it.
No, you can't. I mean, they openly admit it, like they do with a lot of others.
I think we need to throw that in on the next ballot. All right, if the world is still around in 2028,
All right.
we need to throw in the next, what's the next hot weather manipulation thing we're going to vote for?
Well, they say the borders are, just call it the weather czar. That would
There you go.
that would be what you call it.
The border what?
Oh, they have a
What did
They
you,
have
I
unofficial
didn't
position.
What did you say?
They have like an unofficial position called the border czar. You could just call this
are
the
you
weather
saying?
czar. Czar.
Oh,
Czar.
Czar,
Oh my
like a
gosh.
Russian Caesar.
Yes, you deaf son of a.
I did. He was saying czar in so fast with the other word that it was
John's so loud.
registering in my
headphones, too. We
mind
gotta
that it
fix
was
his
one
voice.
word. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I like that idea.
Fixing John's
Um,
voice.
No. What John was actually saying once I understood that he was saying two separate words instead of one word.
Right.
Yeah, we could have like a weather like official.
I think
That
you know what would fix that problem? If obnoxious, blue-haired liberal don't have sex until people promise not to modify the weather again.
Who? How would we enact that into law?
I think we just
RFK?
yeah,
Think he'd get on board?
just a sterilization.
Did you see that picture of him eating McDonald's?
No.
What a joke, dude.
RFK
That's
to
a
McDonald's.
That's a
Everybody eats McDonald's every now and then.
No,
you
it's
know?
a humiliation ritual.
I would. I don't
Also,
know. I don't know
Charlie
about that.
Kirk, like RFK looks like Charlie Kirk gone bad. Don't you think they have similar facial
I
features?
don't think that at all. I also don't think that was. People eat McDonald's sometimes, even RFK.
I have not eaten McDonald's in 9 years.
Oh, good for you.
When was the last time you ate McDonald's?
I don't remember.
You ever read the book Eat Soylent Green?
All right. Point being, I've had fast food within the past 3 months.
There's a difference in fast food and McDonald's. Seriously, McDonald's is the worst of the worst.
It is bad. My point is though, people do stuff like that
Yeah,
sometimes, and it's okay.
No, this is just F you. We're laughing at you. in my
I don't
opinion.
think that's what this is at all.
Well, we can agree to disagree.
It's Trump's favorite food, dude. You gotta you gotta get on board. If you're flying on Air Force One, you gotta eat McDonald's with Trump. That's like the rule. And those two other guys in the back who are they?
One of those
Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Trump's son, Don Jr.
Well, John beat me to it.
All right. Heard. RFK's jacked. Good for him.
He looks. Something looks fake about him, dude. He looks like plaster.
He's old. He's probably had plastic surgery, let's be honest. And
I mean,
I'm
nobody's
sure
head
he wears
shines
makeup.
like that.
Oh, tons of people's do, dude. What are you talking about? Have you ever seen a man going bald?
His head looks like a mirror.
There are tons of guys out there like that. I know what you're thinking. He's not like not everyone is a robot. Sometimes people just have shiny heads, and guess what? Men go bald. Like that happens.
Trump looks weird, but he kind of looks human. There's something's off about RFK. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. Something's off about RFK.
Well, he's for sure vaccine injured.
And he's got a brain worm too, or he had
a brain worm.
Yeah, he said he got his voice was his voice is like this because of
That's a terrible
of a flu vaccine, right?
Something like that. Yeah,
that seems a little weird, but
it's not weird. I know a girl. Who's diabetic as a result of that.
Well, that would make that to me. That makes more sense than your voice being screwed up. But
medications will attack and destroy like weird parts of your body, and especially if they kick off some sort of autoimmune response that ends up attacking a specific portion till you can get that regulated. Like weird happens, and that's not an unknown symptom of things like that. It's not wholly unknown.
Your voice gets.
It's called
screwed
dysphonia.
Up?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not super common. You probably haven't met anybody else with it, but it does happen.
No. And don't get me wrong, I like a lot of the things RFK preaches. I just don't trust him.
Well, he's a Kennedy, you gotta wonder.
Yeah.
But in general, he does
and he has
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and he has brought a lot of good stuff to the public eye, So you take in my mind, you take the good, you leave the bad. And you can separate the work from the person.
Right.
It's the same way I feel about Trump. Like a lot of stuff Trump says, he just won't call out his masters. Talking to you, Jared. But you can separate people's ideals or their ideas from their ideals.
It's true.
And that's an important exercise in building your own beliefs.
All right. Heard. Anything else on weather modification?
Yeah, hopefully we can do some more specific episodes in the future, but it's happening, man. Makes you wonder.
The government admits it. It's for sure happening.
Yeah. Just makes you wonder what's actually going on. Encourage everybody to look into it. Next time something crazy happens in your area, just decide for yourself, man. That was what I put on the last slide. Because there's been some stuff happening in our area. And you just
what stuff's happened in our area? You're specifically
the 1,000-year flood in 2010.
That one was wild.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
The mega tornadoes 2 Decembers ago that leveled Cookeville in the middle of December.
That was wild.
Yeah,
Trump came to Cookeville.
Yeah, I know.
That was more than 2 Decembers ago.
Yeah.
But
yeah, everything's lumped together. Oh yeah, it was probably 4 or 5, wasn't it?
Yeah. My cousin or uncle, I don't know what he was. He met Trump.
Oh.
I know someone who's met Trump.
Hero.
Does that make me famous?
I think so.
Make me an American hero?
I think so.
I've shaken a hand that shook Trump's hand.
Oh, so you're just never going to wash it again?
Ever.
And let it fester?
I'm going to touch myself with
Fester with, so you're going to magify yourself with it. I'm sorry for saying that. I'm sorry I said that. I instantly regretted saying that.
Oh, you know what they should do? At the next Trump rally, they should have a little glass fixture that you can stand behind to give yourself a Trump hair, and they should call it a magnifying glass.
Yeah, you know what MAGA is in the Church of Satan?
What?
It's the highest degree. It's the 5th degree of the Church of Satan.
Oh.
Just fun fact. Just putting that out there.
All right.
But yeah, they should do that. Like when you put the little kid and there's the body of a horse, you pretend to be a horse or
but
a cowboy.
It's Trump.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A magnifying glass.
Yeah.
We're copywriting that, Trump. You give us money if you want to do that.
No, he is the king of branding.
He is.
If we gave him an idea, like, man, think about our lives would change if he gave us $20,000. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man, help us, help some poor Americans out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. This has been interesting.
Yeah.
This has been interesting. There's proof of weather modification from your government, and I feel like we've beaten that particular horse dead.
We have. I don't know what we're going to talk about next time. I want to do the Japanese guidestones, but we can discuss that off air.
Not next time.
But there'll be some interesting stuff coming next time, y'all.
Yeah.
And we thank you for listening.
Maybe an episode on Harry Potter.
I could talk about that all day long.
Me too.
Um,
Maybe we'll put that. Maybe that'll be our first Patreon episode.
And there's like
we're already teasing it right now. So if you feel like spending $3 on a Patreon subscription, you can watch our episode on Harry Potter.
Yeah, and I can connect it to modern politics. I really can. I've got some numerology stuff.
You got some ideas?
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited. Until next time, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Love you.
Bye.